Good evening, folks. I'm going to be doing a little experiment here. I've told people about this experiment for years. Now I'm going to show you what happens. I've got two multivitamins here. One is Centrum Adults. You can buy it pretty much any store that you want. The other one is one of the ones that I take. It's a Vita-Lea from Shaklee. This one came out of my Vitalizer for Men pack. However, there are several others. Ordinary multivitamins, again, one is Centrum, one is Vita-Lea from Shaklee. As you can see, the time is 6:22. Now this experiment shouldn't take more than an hour, but I'm letting you know what time it is just to be sure. And as you can see, I've got my oven preheated to 500 degrees. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick these in the oven and watch what happens. I'm going to be checking in every 10 minutes. Just so y'all can not have to sit here for the full hour and watch what happens. But as you can see, there they go in my oven. Very hot. Again, it's 500 degrees, and we're going to watch and see what happens. The time is 6:23, so I'll check back at 6:33. Okay, folks, as you can see, it's been a little over 10 minutes, but only by one. My temperature is still at 500 degrees. Let's go ahead and see what has happened, if anything. Now, I don't know. I haven't done this experiment before, but let's take a look. Okay, as you can see, both the Centrum and the Vitalizer do have a reaction to them. Both kind of look the same, but what should happen, the end result, is the Vitalizer should just cook up. It should just burn. The Centrum one, as I understand it, there should be a black goo when this is all over, but as you can see, there is starting to be a reaction. We're going to check back again in another 10 minutes and see what all has happened. Okay, folks, it's been another 10 minutes, so 20 minutes altogether. You can see that my temperature on my oven has not changed at all. So let's take a look. Okay, as you can see, there's actually not that much change between the two of them after another 10 minutes has gone by. So we'll check again at 30 minutes and see if there's been any change. The one thing that I guess you could say has changed in the house is it smells pretty bad. Not a good idea to cook these things in a closed area, so I recommend that you are in a relatively open area, kind of like your basic kitchen, stuff like that. But we'll check again in 10 minutes. Okay, folks, it's been another 10 minutes. You can see still nothing has changed, so let's take a look. Okay, as you can see, there hasn't been much change between the two of them. It kind of looks like the Centrum is starting to change a different color, though. Shaklee looks like it is just getting burnt, like you would overcook food, which, in my opinion, that's exactly what Shaklee is food. So, anyway, we'll take a look again in another 10 minutes. Bye. Alright, folks, here we are after another 10 minutes. Nothing's changed. Let's take a look. Okay, so the Shaklee one, again, it's food, so it looks like it's burnt, just like you would burn any other food in the oven. The Centrum actually now looks like a darker shade than it was about 10 minutes ago, but obviously not much change other than that. So we'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, folks, here we are at the 50-minute mark. You can see my temperature is still the same. Haven't adjusted that. Let's take a look and see what our two variables look like. As you can see, the Shaklee one, which is again food, is nearly completely charred, while as the Centrum one looks like something might start to happen soon. We've got another 10 minutes left of this experiment, so we'll see. I might have to change the amount of time, but here we are, 50 minutes. Shaklee on the right, Centrum on the left. We'll check again in 10 minutes. Guys, here we are at the hour mark. Nothing has changed, as you can see. Let's take a look at the variables. The variables, doesn't look like much has changed there either. You can see that Shaklee on the right is almost completely charred. That has changed. The centrum still looks like something's trying to happen. So we're going to extend this another hour. I'll keep checking in every 10 minutes and see what happens to these things after 2 hours. Okay, bye. Here we are at an hour and 10 minutes, and let's just see what everything looks like. Okay, doesn't look like much has changed, but we're gonna keep going just to see. I'm pretty sure I know what'll happen with the Centrum one, but we'll see and check it out later. Okay, an hour and 20 minutes. Temp is still the same. Let's take a look. Still doesn't look like there's much change. Either these things have a very slow reaction time, or that's as far as it's going to go. Now, I will show you this. I did this a few minutes ago, but I'm going to show you folks. If you want to see what these actually look like, I know it's not a great photo on the camera, but if you'll take a look, you can see those actually look pretty nasty. One obviously is Shaklee, the other one is Centrum. I don't know that much more is going to happen to them, but we'll keep an eye on it. I wanted to show you guys that. Okay, check back in 10 minutes. Okay, folks, here we are at the next point. Nothing has changed as far as my temp goes. Let's check on our variables. Okay, as you can see, not much looks to have changed there either. We're almost done with this experiment. We'll pull them out and see what happens to them once they're out of the oven. See what's changed on them as far as how they feel, how they look, stuff like that. Okay, here we are at an hour and 40 minutes. Controls are still the same. Check the variables. As you can see, I don't think much more is going to happen at this point. We've got 20 minutes left of this experiment, and you can see that at 500 degrees, I don't think there's going to be any much more of a reaction to either one of these. We'll check again in 10 minutes. In 20 minutes, we'll pull them out and take a look at them, go from there. Okay, here we are. It's been 2 hours. Doesn't look like much has changed. We're going to go ahead and pull these out now and see what the end result is. Safety first, of course. We're going to turn the oven off. Grab my pot holder here. Pardon the image as I put that on. Alright, we're going to pull this puppy out and see how everything fared. Okay, as you can see, these things are actually pretty ugly looking. Go ahead and turn our oven light off. And if we turn, okay, we won't turn that light off just yet. I'm going to go ahead and set the camera right there for a minute. Grab a fork. And let's go ahead and grab a steak knife just so we know that we've got something sharp. As you can see, we're going to see if we can't cut into these a bit. Sorry about that, folks. So the first one's first is the Centrum pill. And if you take a look, you can actually see that it was starting to melt to the pan. I think if I had heated this thing up just a little more, got a little hotter so you can see the pill, this thing might have melted altogether. You can see it's kind of starting to goo. So now that black goo, as I've told people in the past, and I don't have the right tools to run a chemical analysis on this and tell you for sure, but that black goo, folks, is what we know to be asphalt. That's right. Every time you pop one of these pills, you are in fact downing some of what this country uses to make our roads. You might want to think about that. Now, let's go ahead and switch over here to the Shaklee Vita-Lea. As you can see, that did in fact char. It didn't melt. You can kind of see it flaking off there a little bit. This is food, folks. This is what happens when you burn your food. Now, I'm going to take a knife here. Actually, let me see if I can do this with my fork. Let's see if we can't just cut into that, which we can. It's still pretty hard, so I'm going to grab the knife here. But let's see the Centrum pill. Let's see if I can. No, can't do that one either. So we're going to grab the knife here real quick and just kind of see what happens if we cut into these a little bit. Hopefully you folks can see that here. Grabbing my steak knife. Let's go ahead and do the Centrum pill first. See if we can cut into that. There we go. So I've cut that one in half, and I don't know how well you can see this, but we'll try to get you a better picture. The Centrum pill, as you can see, is actually completely blackened through the center. You can see there, pretty black. Starting to goo on that one a bit. I think if I had applied more heat, probably would have gotten a little bit better result, but as most of you know, your ovens won't go much higher than 550. Now, the Vita-Lea, let me go ahead and put the camera down here real quick. We'll cut into the Vita-Lea and see what happens with that one. I'm going to cut into the Vita-Lea pill here right now. Got my knife right here. You see that's actually still flaking off here a bit. Let's go ahead and cut into that. Well, that's pretty hard to cut into, but it is still pretty well charred. But notice, folks, it's charred, not gooey. That's what should happen with something that's all natural. When it's food, folks, it shouldn't turn into a goo. I've almost got it here. I'm gonna have to put the phone down for just a second. See what we can do about maybe cutting into this puppy. Hopefully you folks can see this here. So anyway, go ahead and cut into this. Wow, that is really pretty tough. I don't think it's charred all the way through. Let's see if we can find something else here. See if this will do the trick. Might have to apply a little bit of force. Whoop! Ah, there we go. Okay. Now, folks, as you can see, it's not real hot anymore, but you can see that in the center of this, see if maybe we can get some better light here. In the center of this, I've cooked this thing all the way through. You see that all that's really left now are the minerals. That's what I love about Shaklee products, folks. It's food. It's all natural. I could probably eat this. Well, it tastes very good because it's burnt, but I could eat this right now and nothing's going to happen to me. Whereas in the Centrum, you can see again that it's kind of melted onto the foil there. See right there, it melted on. And if you look at this real close, you can see if we can get some better natural light here. You can see, folks, that that's still pretty gooey in the center. I wouldn't trust this thing any further than I can throw it. And because of how small it is, I can throw it pretty far. But sorry folks, for me, I'm not going to take my chances. I'm going to stick with Shaklee. I'm going to stick with something that I know works. It's something that's all natural, something that really is good for you. Now, if you like this video, the Vitalizer for men is for sale. We also have some that are for women, and then depending on your age, we have what's called the Vitalizer Gold Package. Now, every one of these are available for sale. If you want, you can view my contact information on my YouTube channel. If not, you can also go to www.shaklee, that's SHAKLEE.com, and when you're ready to place an order, folks, it'll ask you for which distributor, which member turned you on to Shaklee. You want to put in Steve McMillan. If you have any questions, folks, Shaklee gives you the product labels. For everything they do, they have a product label. You can see exactly what's in it. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to contact me. My email address will be in the information below. And I look forward to hearing from every one of you.